All right, welcome to Inequalities, Lesson 1. Now that you've learned everything about expressions, a math problem with no equal sign, variables, operation symbols and numbers, and infinite answers, and then you've learned all about equations where we have two equivalent expressions. We have an equal sign, right? And there's only one answer for an equation. Now we're going to learn about inequalities and how to graph them today. So our learning target right here, will you please start at I can with me? Let's read it together. Go. I can represent solutions of inequalities on a number line. Well, first we have to kind of understand what an inequality is before we can graph it on a number line, okay? So what do inequalities mean? Inequalities are mathematical sentences that use one of the inequality symbols to state the relationship between two quantities or two amounts, okay? So today and tomorrow and the next day, the next 3 lessons, I guess technically the next 6 lessons, you're going to see a lot of these symbols. We call these inequality symbols. And let's talk about what each of those symbols mean, okay? So an inequality is like an equation, but instead of an equal sign, it will have one of these. So if we see this sign, this symbol, it means less than. And then if we see that same symbol with a little line underneath it, that little line is part of an equal sign. So we have less than or equal to. Then we have this symbol right here, and that means greater than. Then you put a little piece of an equal sign under it, and we have greater than or equal to. So we're going to get lots of practice reading these symbols, these signs, and seeing what they mean. Okay. When we graph an inequality on a number line, if we have less than or greater than by themselves, we're going to use an open circle. Okay. And I know right now you're like, what? It's okay. If we have less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, we're going to use a closed circle. I like to remember this. See how this one has that extra little line there? That little line tells me, okay, so these symbols all tell me to do a circle. The little line tells me to color it in. So if it has a line underneath it, I need to color it in. If no line underneath it, I just do my circle. Okay, so let's look at this inequality. Here we have this inequality. We always start by reading where the variable is. So the variable is right here. Here we go. So we say x is less than, because that's what that symbol is, 5. X is less than 5. So this means whatever value x has must be less than 5 to make this inequality true. So like expressions, there are lots and lots and lots of answers that will make this true. Let's see if you can name 10 numbers quick that would make this inequality true. Let's see, what's less than 5? 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 100, negative 1 billion, negative 0.5. All of those are smaller or less than 5. So see how there are way more than 10 numbers less than 5? All right, let's look at this. Now remember our inequality, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so that we can see the whole. There we go. Our inequality looks like this. We have x is less than 5. So numbers less than 5 are to the left of 5 on the number line. You guys remember that. So remember, I look at my inequality symbol, and here it's a less than, so I put a circle. Do I color it in? Nope. And everything to the left that's smaller than 5, I put an arrow because this could go on forever, would satisfy this and make this true. So here's some examples of what you could say would make this true. Now, would the number 5 make this correct? Let's see. Is 5 less than 5? No. So that's why we have to use an open circle, because 5 is not included on this graph. So let's look at this. let's read this. This is how we would read it. X is greater than or equal to -2. So this means whatever value x has must be greater than or equal to -2. Try to name 10 numbers that are greater than or equal to -2. Let's see if you can do it. Go ahead and pause. Name 10 numbers greater than or equal to -2. All right, let's see. If you said -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you are right. There's also numbers in between the integers. Remember, integers are whole positive and negative numbers, like -1.5. Is that bigger than -2? Yep. The number -2 would also be correct because it is greater than or equal to. So remember, we had this. X is greater than or equal to -2. So first, I start by drawing a circle on this number. So draw your circle. I always do it above so I can see. Now it has that equal sign, or the part equal, so I have to color it in. And then greater means bigger, so the bigger numbers are to the right. Okay. Always read inequalities from the side that has the variable. I've said that a couple of times. So we would read this: x is greater than 3. Now, what if we have this? Always start where the variable is. So this one reads x is less than 3. If it helps you, you could flip it, but you have to remember, so if you want x on the left, you have to flip that inequality symbol so it's still facing your variable the same way. X is less than 3. Go ahead and pause and try the next two. Read them in your out loud. All right, how did you read this? Let's see. Did you read it? X is greater than 4. If you can't see it, flip it. X on this side, 4 on this side. Flip your inequality symbol. It needs to still be facing the variable like it was here. X is greater than 4. And this one, straightforward. X is on the left. X is greater than or equal to 12. All right. Now, graph the inequality on the number line. So here's our inequality. Let's read it first. Our inequality is x is greater than or equal to 7. So the first thing we're going to do is find our number by itself. And we're going to put a circle on that number. I'm going to do it above the number line so I can see it easier. Sometimes it's hard to see on the number line. All right, so x is greater than or equal to 7. Now, since it can be equal to, I have to color that circle, and it needs to be a closed circle. And we have to ask ourselves now, what kind of numbers are going to make it true? Let's just plug 6 in. Is 6 greater than or equal to 7? Yes or no? No. Let's plug 8 in. Is 8 greater than or equal to 7? Yes. So our arrow needs to go to the right to numbers that are greater than 7. Kind of fun, huh? All right, let's try this next one. Remember, we read it from the variable side. So if you need to, switch it. X and 2, the variable is eating the x, or the inequality symbol is eating the x. You guys remember that? All right. So we would read this: x is greater than 2. So first, find your number. Open or close circle. Open circle. X is greater than 2, arrow to the left or to the right. We would be going to the right because it's greater than 2. If you like to do your graph or you're plotting this part down here on the number line, you're welcome to. It's just sometimes hard to see on the number line, so you can do it above it. All right, let's read this inequality. Remember, start from the variable. X is greater than 5. Okay, so 5 is our number. So we're going to put our circle on 5. Open or closed circle. Remember, we look at this. It's an open circle because there's no equal. X is greater than 5. So our numbers would be going like this. Or our arrow. Pause and try this one on your own. Okay, x is greater than -8. So our circle goes on -8. Open or closed? Open. Arrow to the left or to the right? To the right. If you got that right, give yourself a pat on the back. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and pause and try this one. All right, let's see. Our number is -1, so we're going to put a circle on -1. Open or closed circle, open. Arrow to the left or to the right. This one might have tricked you because you remember you need to read from the variable. The arrow should be going to the left. X is less than -1. Remember, if you need to flip it, just make sure the inequality part, whatever is by the x, is by the x over here. X is less than -1. Go ahead and pause and try this one. All right, we will put a circle on 2. Is it open or closed? Closed because of that equal sign there. Now when we read this, ooh, that got a little crazy. X is less than or equal to 2. So it has to be less than, so our arrow is going to the left. Sometimes it helps to remember it like this. When you say less than, you have the L part, right? So your arrow goes to the left. When you have greater than, you have greater, so it goes to the right. Just a little trick to help you remember. Go ahead and pause and try this one. All right, we should put our circle on -3. And when we read this, we read it from the variable. X is less than -3. So we have less than, so our arrow should be going to the left here. Now, if you got that one right when you did it by yourself, I want you to give yourself a Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. Write an inequality to represent the number line. Okay, so let's pick a variable first. We've used x this whole time, so let's use x. So start by writing your variable, and then we're going to start by writing our number. What number are we on the number line? We're on number -3. And our arrow is going to the left, so we're going to have a less than symbol. Is our circle open or closed? It's open, so I don't put that equal to part. So we just have x is less than -3. All right, so let's try this one. Start with x and the number you are on. What number are we on? 5. And is the arrow going to the left or to the right? Arrow's going to the left. So we have a less than. Now is our circle closed or open? It's closed. So we need to put that equal part there. Very nice. Go ahead and pause and try this one. All right, for this one, x and 6, our arrow's going to the right. So we would have greater than, and our circle is closed, so it has to be equal to. If you got that one right, give yourself a brain kiss. Remember, kiss your fingers and then touch your head and go, 1, 2, 3. All right, go ahead and try this one. Okay, let's see. X and -6. Our arrow is going to the right, so it has to be greater than. And it's not colored in. So x is greater than -6. If you got that one right, give yourself a yes. 1, 2, 3. Yes. All right. Now let's see if you can do this. We have 4 graphs here, 4 graphs, and 2 inequalities. Tell me which graph matches which inequality. We're only going to use 2 of the answers. So go ahead and pause and try. All right. So let's see, on this one, we have to say x is greater than 7.5. So we would need our arrow going to the right because it's greater than. We need a closed dot. So the only one that has a closed dot and the arrow going to the right is B. I know some of you wanted to do D at first. Oh, yes. Okay, just kidding. Do we want a closed circle? No, we want an open circle with the arrow going to the right. I know we wanted to choose D because of the open circle, and it looks like it's right on 7.5. But the correct answer is A. X is greater than 7.5. Open circle on 7.5, arrow to the right. Okay, x is less than or equal to 10. So let's see, are there any that have the dot on 10? Well, B and C both look like they could be on 10, right? Close dots. X is less than 10. So the correct answer for this would be C. A and C. All right, don't forget to make sure that you wrote on your lesson assign Cami as we were going, and then up at the top over that direction, click submit so that your teacher gets it, and then go and do the practice assignment with this and the exit ticket. Best of luck. I'll see you tomorrow.